I'm joined in the studio by three performers and their video camera operator from a Hong Kong physical theatre company called Feast on Wasteland. Now, I'd noticed that you've won a competition called Adelaide Tour Ready. So obviously the idea of coming to Adelaide for the Fringe is something that's been with you for quite some time. So when did you think, hello, we'll go for this? Oh, by the way, Edwin, Jovita and Adrienne, in that order. Right. So, who can tell me when you decided you wanted to come?
Actually, it's a very precious opportunity we've got from a festival called Let's Be Together Arts Festival from Three Roots Playwright in Hong Kong. So we have performed in that festival last August and September, and then we won the award, the Adelaide Touring Award, and it's a award collaborated by Three Roots Playwright in Hong Kong and Adelaide Fringe 2020. And so we got the opportunity and we decided, so why not give it a shot? So then we just come along and we want to spread Hong Kong stories to everywhere. Yeah.
Well, the big story that most people know about Hong Kong at the moment is there's a great deal of social unrest. You've got your local government, you've got the Beijing government, and what seems to be a groundswell, especially of young people, of students, taking to the streets and grabbing their future with both hands. So I'm assuming that you're, in a way, part of that as well. Or is that not something you can talk about?
I think it is quite a big dilemma in the last year because we are facing quite a big social issue about the extradition bill. So it takes us quite time to think what should we do at that time as a young artist, a group of young artists. Should we stop doing art and back to the society and do what practically works, or we should use our opportunity to create a piece that tells what happening in Hong Kong and to ask a question to the audience.
And you've chosen the medium of physical theatre, which is a great thing because so much of the story it tells doesn't require language.
Yeah.
So is the physical theatre side of it something that Feast on Wasteland is known for, or did you choose this one specifically for this event?
Actually, it's what we're known for because we're a group of graduates from a physical theatre training course in Hong Kong. And so this is our common language. And we learned physical theatre together. And so we use our common language to do collaborative work.
There's a thing that I do know about, for example, Chinese opera, which is very athletic. You know, most Western opera, they just stand there and they sing. But I've seen Chinese opera, and even the leading singers are acrobats and can turn cartwheels in the air and still sing. It's trust me, obviously very demanding. Did you start as children, or was this something you took up when you were a little older?
Not really, because we have like a 2 years training program. So we finish the first year and then we go to the second year together. So our company start with 6 actors that we have the common language, as Jovita said, and then we try to, like, by what we know, we try to collaborate and devise some of our piece together.
And also, it's not what we're doing is not really like acrobats or Chinese operas. So actually, our physical training has 2 parts. So the first part is the European side. So it's more like a French Le Quad training of mass works and movements. And another side is a more Asian side. So we'll learn from really traditional Asian techniques like Tai Chi and other art forms like Butok Japan. So we learn from that, from learning our bodies. We learn how to incorporate our movements to our language. Yes, that's what we do actually. So it's not like flying in the sky.
I am so disappointed. I love the movies. So I was looking forward to that. But in that sense that once you've established a language that relates to your body and your feelings, what then determines the story that you tell with this new vocabulary?
Actually, to us, this piece is also a very great challenge because we have invited a friend of us he is a playwright. So he's called Hin, and he wrote very experimental words like
and with full of philosophy.
Yes, full of philosophy. And so to us,
it takes quite a lot of time to do researches and also to think of how can we collaborate our movement, what we learned, what we knew, and into the script.
Yes, and also not only from the script, but what we are facing in Hong Kong society, how we can incorporate all those into our performance.
So have you performed this in Hong Kong?
Yes.
Yes.
So what sort of audience reaction did you get?
We get people who actually say, because of the wordings inside a script, it doesn't directly say, oh, this is the issue of the era, or this is the issue of Hong Kong and all the direct situations that we see on the news and over the world. But surprisingly, the audience, they would say, this makes me remind me of what I had experienced right now, and even maybe what we see overseas, not only in Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. And I guess we are very, very happy, or the questions that audience give back to us, that is what we try to hope to listen to. And
with an Adelaide audience who will come and see you, whose experience of Hong Kong, some of them may have travelled there, mm-hmm. some of them may have lived and worked there, but most of them really only know Hong Kong from the TV news.
Yeah.
What are you hoping that they will make of the show? What do you hope will come across to them?
Actually, why we started the show originates from what happened last year in Hong Kong, but our show doesn't directly put that incident on top of everything. So it's actually more a wider view of what we're experiencing. So it's a journey from the ancient time to the future, for a far away future, and it's a journey we lead the audience to experience. So actually, from what we experienced last year, we find that what we are fighting for is liberty and freedom, and we thought that is justice, and we think that is what we wanted. But then during the journey, a lot of youngsters, a lot of students have permanent both physical damages and all those sacrifice. So we're thinking, is that worth it? What we're fighting for, is that worth all those sacrifice? But then we look back in history, and that is what happened across the history every single time. Yeah. It repeats and repeats. So we find that maybe the fault lies on human being ourselves, because we're just fighting for survival of the fetus. We are always having so much desires. And from this, our message is actually across the history, instead of just pinpointing to Hong Kong.
So it's you as individuals, but connecting with young people with challenges and questions all around the world, not just in 2020, but in 1948, in 1790, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And of course, as it's physical and philosophical, it's going to be challenging for an audience, for any audience, but yes. I think it's going to be very, very rewarding. So far, how's it gone?
So yesterday was
Yeah,
it was
our
our first show.
Yeah.
And then we met quite some audience, and they give us some feedback. And intentionally, we like to know what they think, because we knew that we are quite a bit different from what other shows happening in the Fringe. So we like to know what the audience think. And some of them, they feel like interesting to see a group of Hong Kong young people, young artists, doing such different performance from what they thought or from what they expect from the show. So I think it's good to give them some question then.
And also, we originally thought that maybe language would be a very great barrier to them, because our show is actually in Cantonese, but we have English subtitles. So, but after the show, we have talked to some of the audience, and they actually understand what we're doing. But because we have a lot of physical gestures and all movements. So they actually relate to themselves, and we are very happy to bring this story here.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing it. And you're in the meeting hall behind the town hall.
Yes.
Which is a really nice venue, never used enough. And the performances from the 1st to the 8th are at 8:15, and on the 9th and 10th are at 9 p.m. And the performances on the 3rd and 4th and 6th and 7th are at 6:20 p.m. I guess the ideal thing is to turn up at the Fringe box office and book your tickets there, and they will tell you when and where. I've been talking with 3 members of Feast on Wasteland, and their names are Edwin, Jovita and Adriana, and I'm really pleased you could come in and talk to me about your show. Thanks indeed for your company today.